What's poppin'? How's it going? So just about a year ago in 2019, my buddy Justin and I started our very own production company called King Wolf Creative. Over the past week, I've been talking to Justin and a few other friends about video production companies and freelance, and is there really much of a difference, and should you start a video production company in 2020? I do want to give a thank you to Bubble Up for sponsoring today's video, but more on that later. What do you think the biggest struggle that you've noticed in starting a video production company?
There's definitely struggles. I mean, and the struggles, I think, are very much the same with starting probably any business. You're dealing with everything from getting new clients, satisfying the clients you have, making sure all of your accounting books and everything are in order so that at the end of the year you're not getting screwed on taxes, making sure there's enough money coming in that you're eating at the end of the day and that everyone's, paying their mortgages and whatever. There was obviously a big learning curve of figuring out what forms we had to get into the state government and the federal government and getting everything organized. Those are all struggles. But those are all struggles starting any business.
If, say, a group of people wanted to start a production company, what would you say, how would you advise them to find out the correct information?
It's going to depend on what state, country, whatever you're in. For us, we had talked about the direction we wanted to take the company. And I think that's an important thing. Before, you start a partnership with someone or start a business with someone, figure out, what direction you both want to take it, and if those directions are going to split right apart or if they're going to stay together. And it's fine if they branch out in different places, because you can have different aspects and different parts of the company. I think that's step one. Figure out what you want to do with the company. And it doesn't have to be a Bible as far as what you want. It's just got to be a general roadmap. And that's it. And don't be afraid to talk to people about it. And I think that that's something that helped us to make sure that we stayed on the right track is from probably a couple weeks in, we had met with an accountant that was very familiar with small businesses in the state of Connecticut.
Not only that, but partnerships.
That probably helped us to avoid a lot of headaches that we could have possibly run into. And obviously, there was still stuff we were learning over the last year.
And we're still learning.
And it's
right
the
now.
end of the year right now, and they're like, "Have you done this, this, and this?" And we're like, "Yeah, kinda." So there's gonna be those growing pains and figuring it out.
Because I want to hear some perspective from you about just production companies in 2020. What are your thoughts on production companies in 2020 versus freelancing?
So I think that every freelancer is in essence a production company. Basically, a production company is when you've just taken one more step and you're like, I am committed to expanding this, scaling this beyond my own ability. I think that there's probably way fewer production companies than there is need for videos. I think that, and I've been saying this for 3 years, I don't think that nearly enough businesses and organizations are doing video and taking video seriously.
My name's Tom McMahon. I consider myself a business owner, entrepreneur of sorts. I own a CrossFit gym. Started back in 2014. I've learned a lot of different things within what I'd consider the creative world. Eventually bought a camera 3 years ago. It was a Sony a6000.
It's a good camera.
Great camera to start with. I distinctly remember now, looking back on it, there was a point where I was shooting a video for this competition that we were holding, and I thought that ramping up the shutter speed would give me slow motion. Yeah, it's funny, looking back on those little mistakes, and you're like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
Rather than just freelancing, what prompted you to want to be a production company or start a production company or have a production company?
Freelancing, I think, is a great option to do. It wasn't the option that I wanted to do because, number one, I did not want to be doing everything solo. When I think freelance, I don't necessarily think that you get the bigger budget projects. You can be hired on to some bigger budget projects, but where we live, they're kind of, to find yourself into those crews, they're few and far between. Whereas if you have a business and you have a team that you can offer to someone, working regularly with a team, I think that you get a better product. There's tons of talented freelancers out there, and you can bring them together, but they're not necessarily going to jive together. When you work with someone constantly and you know how they work, I think that you can identify what people's strengths are and what people's weaknesses are, and you can play off of that. As a freelancer, if you're taking on direct clients and you're working with them from start to finish, you have to be focused on every aspect of that the whole way. When you're working with a team and you have people who are doing different tasks that are their strengths, I think it brings together a better project in the end. And you can be good at everything, I feel.
Yeah.
You can't be great at everything.
No,
you know?
it's true.
Before you even walk onto a set, there's hours and hours and days, weeks, months, whatever into planning. That's what I think that a production team and business that constantly work together can bring to the table more than just like a freelancer. And I think, back to the bigger jobs and everything as part of it is like getting hired onto a bigger job as a freelancer. I'm at the mercy of someone else.
Knowing your strengths and knowing the weaknesses of what you are not, and then being able to value your strengths where they need to be valued. But in terms of teams, there is a component of being able to work on a team or with a team if you're a production company, because that's internal, like day to day, you're working with that team, right? But I think, again, it's a bit of a misconception because it's gonna be a group project if you're a freelancer anyway. Like, yes, you're the only one editing, but the people giving you input, there's gonna be a bunch of cooks in the kitchen on, the client side. Like, it's all teamwork. You know what I mean? It's all teamwork. So I don't think that it's as big of a difference as, again, freelancers might think.
Between myself and my business partner, Aaron, we definitely hold very different hats, which is very good. There's a lot of things that he loves doing that I want no part of. And there's a lot of things that I love doing that he cares to have no part of. If you're working by yourself, you've got to be very self-motivated, very organized. You got to make sure you're on top of yourself pretty much every single day, and things can easily fall through the cracks.
So you kind of got into this because of your business, and you know that you needed to utilize photo and video for marketing.
There's little things. It was mainly the marketing for the competition we hold. Every competition we do, there's like a final workout, and we try to make it real dramatic. We black out the lights, and we throw up a video that I made that pretty much leads up. It's like, a minute of build up, and then you see the workout. That was like my first experience with kind of being creative with video. Obviously, there's a lot of benefit to being able to do all this in-house, and with that, we've definitely expanded how complex our business is, along with some smaller freelance projects on the side. There's a lot of in-house stuff that we're in the process of doing. So as much as I'd like to be out there kind of creating different things, because it's always fun creating new things for other people, there's a lot of work that goes on in-house.
So your focus for this isn't really to, venture off into doing freelance. I mean, if the jobs come, it's like a side hustle for you almost.
Right.
But the focus is the business, CrossFit Wingman, and like you're utilizing all the stuff that you've learned and your talents for the business.
Yeah, the end all be all will always be the gym. The video aspect of all this has definitely given me another outlet to kind of escape work. And that's why I never really want it to feel like work. I don't want to feel like I've got a ton of projects on my shoulders trying to finish. And I want to be able to take the time and like work with one person and be like, tell me what you want from this. Tell me your dreams. Tell me what you want to eventually get to. And let's create something that really encompasses that.
When you're a production company, it's pretty much expected that you're going to have multiple clients, maybe like 10 clients at one time. I think that for a freelancer, there's a bit of a value proposition that you have where you can say, look, I only take on 4 clients per year. If you hire me on this, I'm going to be 100% your person. Like day in and day out, I'm going to be working on your thing.
You think about social medias and different things that we are now so used to, and like Instagram, and how many times do you scroll through Instagram, you see a photo and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you keep scrolling and probably 6 seconds later you forget about it. And that's what I kind of see as the photo portion of our advertising. They're cool. They'll grab a little bit of attention, remind you that we're here, but you're not going to stop and stare at that photo for 30 seconds, you know? And if you have a video that can make someone stop and watch it for a minute, that's significantly more powerful than any photo is going to be able to do in terms of gaining attention, bringing people in their doors, and putting out a certain image of who we are. It's about making an impact.
It's invaluable.
It's invaluable. Yeah, it really is. Just the other day, I had a new guy come in, and he saw one of the guys that did a testimonial for us, and he walked up to me. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "you're the reason I'm here." He saw this guy's testimonial from our gym, and that gave him the confidence to walk through our doors.
So since doing video, would you say that you've seen more growth or more of an impact on the gym?
It's definitely more of an impact. You know, growth is a lot of different things that come into play. We're 100% utilizing a lot of video to create that growth. There's so many things that we have on our forefront that will become like invaluable assets, especially to new people coming in, that we'll be able to, you know, put out there and utilize. I can't tell you how many times I've explained something to someone coming in and then repeated that to 1,000 more people. You know, what if I put that on video, save myself some time, now I can focus on other things.
You're looking at video as a whole different extension of your business, not just marketing and advertising. You're thinking about it in a completely different way.
Yeah, and you'll see like this year, we're gonna roll out a few things that will be, they wouldn't be possible without video.
Do you think in 2020 there is really much of a difference between being a freelancer and being a production company?
No, I don't see a huge difference between freelancers and production companies. I think that every freelancer is the beginning of a production company. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that every project has its own need, every organization has its own need, and it's a matter of knowing your strengths and then offering them in the market.
As far as like a business, do you see the benefit to hiring a production company if they don't have a freelancer accessible to them, or they don't have somebody who can internally do it?
Yeah, I, especially with all the video stuff, dove off the deep end. Invested a lot of time and money into equipment, education, things like that, and it was a lot, and I still only know a very, very, very small fraction of what is possible out there. I wouldn't expect any other business owner to do that unless they really wanted to. And it's the same reason that we outsource like the construction that's going on in our gym right now. Could we do it ourselves? Yeah. Would it take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and would it be worth it? Probably not. The time and money and everything else that you're going to save is going to be well worth the money that you're spending on someone else to do that video for you. And it's probably going to be done better because they're professionals.
It's tough for me to say whether people should jump right into it or whether they should go freelance or work for someone or anything. What I will say is that the skills and just kind of the workflow and everything that you will learn from working with someone is invaluable. My time, you know, interning at a couple different places, working at a couple different places, was way beyond anything I learned in school. So if you're leaving school and you think you know everything and you're gonna go, like, I don't recommend jumping right into starting your own production company. Why not spend a little bit of time seeing how other people are doing it? And you may learn that the way that they're doing it doesn't work. Both of them are very valuable, like learning what not to do as well as learning what to do and then formulating your own thing.
I think it's almost heavily dependent on your personality. So if you're willing to go out, make mistakes, be okay with making mistakes, and just go for it, freelance can teach you a lot. I've definitely been, I guess you could say, one to shoot first, ask questions later. It's definitely helped me learn a lot, but there's also a ton of mistakes that I made along the way. And I'm okay with that because, you know, every mistake is just another chance to learn. If you work for a production company, you are surrounding yourself with a bunch of people that know what's going on, even if this might be your first experience, you can learn a ton from them. And it's the same reason I reached out to you. Like, even that first day that we worked together, I was just like, just soaking things in.
Yeah.
You know, there was so much going on. And I was like, oh, I never really thought of that. You just pick up these things that, as a freelancer, like, it probably would have taken me a very long time before I kind of came to that realization or learned that one thing that I learned from just watching you guys do it. Once you're trying to delegate those responsibilities, it'd be very good to understand how other people delegate those responsibilities. Just like anything else, like, there's no right or wrong way to learn something. You know, there's obviously faster and slower, but the more experience you have, the better off you're going to be.
I want to thank Bubble Up for sponsoring today's video. Bubble Up is a super rad platform that allows you to store and share your files. If you do any sort of client work in the video world, Bubble Up might be a good tool for you to use if you're trying to share files or back up project files or even just back up any files. When you use the link down in the description, bubbleup.com/promo/Burke, you actually get 100 gigabytes of storage completely free for 1 year. So after reflecting on all these conversations, the question, should you start a video production company in 2020? I think the answer is kind of based off of your situation. If you're somebody who's kind of just getting into the video world and you want to start doing client work and all that stuff, I don't necessarily think that starting a video production company is the best route for you. I definitely think either freelancing on your own for a bit or going and interning somewhere or working at a video production company to gain experience will help you out to be that much more successful with your video production company when you do decide to start that. Now, something that I was kind of thinking about with this video was, is the market getting oversaturated to become a freelancer or start a video production company? After talking to Cody and getting some insight from Tom, I don't really think that the market is oversaturated, especially because there's so many different ways that businesses can be using video that they're really not taking advantage of. You know, Tom briefly touched on the fact that their business is finding an extension that they can use video to actually make more of an income. I definitely think that video is such a huge part of marketing in the business world, but I don't think that video stops at marketing. So if you are somebody who has been doing freelance work or client work for a while and you're thinking maybe I want to go into business with somebody or maybe I want to start my own production company and hire on employees so that I have a team of people to be able to offer a service that you may not be able to offer on your own. You know, I do think that there are some struggles with starting a video production company, but like Justin said, that's with any business. There's time and sacrifice and money that goes into these sort of things. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, you can do whatever you want. I'll see you soon.